the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Happy Vlogmas Day 9, y'all. It is Sunday, December 9th, and I'm not even gonna lie. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've literally done nothing all morning. Actually, that's a lie also. I've done a lot. It's been very productive, but like I was just doing a lot of organizational stuff, like going through my Google Drive and like deleting old pictures and like refoldering stuff and like doing that kind of organizational. It's very fun for me, but not very fun for y'all. So I just decided not to show y'all that part. But now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're up and I have yet to eat. So actually we're gonna eat some breakfast, but I'm also just not gonna show you that because I think that y'all have seen me eat enough this Vlogmas, so I'll just be right back. Alright, we're done eating now that you guys don't have to watch that anymore. Today is Sunday, like I said before, and that means it's Sorority Sunday, so I have to give you guys another sorority kind of video. Basically, I'm doing this every Sunday for the rest of the year because I'm in a sorority, and we start recruiting next January, so obviously in like a month. And that kind of gets us ready, me ready in the mindset of recruiting. It helps y'all if you are going to be looking to join a sorority, if you're going to be going through recruitment, or other sorority girls who are about to do recruitment and looking at PNMs. It kind of just gives you information on how to do all of that. All right, so before I get into the video, if you all have any questions about sorority life or about this video in general or literally anything sorority, comment down below because I'll answer it in my next Sorority Sunday video. That way I can answer all y'all's questions. So today's Sorority Sunday video, I wanted to go over kind of like the myths and stereotypes of sorority girls, only because I want to debunk those for you and also just make you aware that they do exist. So as you're joining this sorority life and the Greek life, you have to know that these things are out there and are around and might be something that's going to affect you, but hopefully you are going to be able to counter that and debunk those myths throughout just living your life and being the person that you are while in a sorority. One thing that I do want to just kind of throw out there before we get into any of the stereotypes is that these are stereotypes. With that being said, a stereotype becomes a stereotype because one or more people do exhibit these traits. However, people have taken that from a small number of people and then assigned it to the larger group of people, and that's kind of what a stereotype is. So of course, if I say some of these things, it might be true for some people, but also it's not for the most of us. And that's with any stereotype, not just sorority stereotypes, but that's also with like racial or religious or class or gender stereotypes. Yes, it's going to be true for those few individual people. Like my favorite color is pink. That's a stereotype of girls. Like, yes, I fit that stereotype, but not everybody does, if that makes sense. I just kind of wanted to put that out there before I get into it because you are going to see sorority girls that exhibit some of these things, possibly, but that's not the majority of us, and you shouldn't be labeling all of us as these things. So one of the first myths that you see literally in every movie ever that features sorority girls is that they're stupid. That to me is just so funny because you have to have a certain GPA to even go through recruitment. So you have to be good standing within the university to even sign up and go through recruitment. 2, you have to have a certain GPA to get into certain sororities, and all of them might have the same. It might just be the school standard and some of them might be more. So for us, we have a higher GPA than OSU does. So they require a certain GPA to even go through recruitment, but then we expect a higher GPA to get into our sorority. And you have to maintain that to be in good standing, one with the university, but also with your sorority. And so to think that we're stupid is very stereotypical because we literally have to maintain good grades to be in the sorority, which doesn't make sense to me. We have leadership positions within the sororities, and one of them being VP academics, VP education, VP scholarship, all of these things that help you do well in school. So we have monthly study tables. We have to do study tables with other Greek life. We just had one 2 weeks ago with Tri Delta and Delta Gamma. I think it was Tri Delta. I don't remember. We had one with 3 sororities at DG's house and it was fun. It was amazing, but that's stuff that we do on the regular, and so it's very confusing to me when I hear the whole stereotype of sorority girls being stupid. The next stereotype that I even believed when I was going through recruitment was that all sorority girls are like these thin little twigs, blonde hair, big boobs, big butt, like something like literally Barbie dolls, beautiful girls. And of course we're all beautiful. Like I'm not about to say that's the stereotype because all girls are beautiful, all bodies are beautiful. However, not every sorority girl looks the same. One, that's the reason why I joined AOPI here at Ohio State. I loved the genuineness of the girls here, diversity of the girls here. However, stereotypically, you see in the movies that some sororities do all look the same. And again, that's wrong, but that is something that kind of goes with it. So if that's something in your head where you're like, oh, I could never go through recruitment because I have black hair, I'm not a twig, that literally means nothing, and you should still do recruitment and you should still try to find your home because that is a stereotype of sororities, and that is false for most sororities. Even if some sororities don't extend you a bid because of your features, then you don't belong there anyways and you don't want to be there. You want to be somewhere that does accept you for who you are, and that's why I joined AOPI. I feel like the most notorious stereotype of sorority girls is that we're whores or sluts or we're like frat rats or like all these things where we're just these sexual people all the the time. I just think that's crazy because, of course, again, it's a stereotype, so we're not. However, not every girl parties, not every girl drinks, not every girl does drugs, not every girl has sex, not every girl has sex with a bunch of guys. Like, that's literally, again, a stereotype of sororities, and so I don't want you to expect that that's what you'll be asked to do if you do join a sorority, because you're not. We are required as sororities to hold certain social events or parties, I guess you could say pre-games, little stuff like that. We do have to do those things, but one, they're not required for people to go to. So we do have required events and non-required events for sororities, and anything that does involve alcohol parties or anything like that is a non-required event, because we cannot force people to come to an event that's going to be alcohol or that could potentially be a party or something like that, because that's just not what we're about. Of course we have them, but that's not our core value, or that's not something that we do on the regular. One thing that used to be considered with Greek life in general, so dependent on, you know, sororities or fraternities or anything like that, Greek life in general was very heavy, or at least perceived to be heavy. It's all this hearsay, or like you don't talk about it, so it's never kind of thing, but we all know it's a thing. There used to be a lot of hazing that went on, unfortunately, and at least with my perspective, I feel like that has gone away a lot. However, there could still be stuff going on that I'm not aware about, or that you may not be aware about, or that the school may not be aware about, something along those lines, unfortunately. However, that stereotype, again, does not cover all Greek life. There are frats that don't haze. There are sororities that don't haze. And my opinion being, you probably shouldn't join one that does haze, because one, that's wrong and that's bullying, and two, you shouldn't be expected to do things in order to join a group or organization. I just think that's wrong. OSU ran into this huge thing last year where they suspended literally almost every fraternity on campus due to hazing, and then slowly brought some of them back. They did leave some of them on suspension. They're gone for 4 or 5 years because of hazing. So schools are cracking down on it. Organizations are cracking down on it. I know that there's a frat on campus now that they're not allowed to do paddles. Like, they cannot give paddles to their bigs. They can't have paddles in the house, anything like that, because it insinuates hazing, and we're really trying to cut down on that as the Greek community. So trying to diminish that stereotype for us is something that we're working towards, and I just want you to know that not everybody does that, and they shouldn't be doing that. So if you do hear of stuff going on, you need to tell somebody, because that is wrong, and they're shedding a bad light on Greek community, and we don't want that. So one sorority that I thought was going to be true when I was going through recruitment was that sororities are only going to look for the pretty girls to join their sorority. So we already talked about the fact that, like, everybody looks the same in some sororities, and that's already false. But also, even if not everybody looks the same, you obviously look at sororities and they're all just like gorgeous girls, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how do you find all these people? Like, why are there so many pretty people, and why am I so ugly? But in general, I just always thought that, you know, sororities, like, when we go through recruitment, you're just looking at their looks. Like, you're looking at what their outfit is, that you're looking at how they look at how they carry themselves, all these things, and obviously that's not true. It looks like that from the outside. Before I joined a sorority, I was like, I'll never get in, like, I'm not pretty enough, especially for certain sororities, I thought. However, that's obviously not the case. Again, there are different girls in every sorority, different shaped girls, different kinds of girls, everything in different sororities, and different sororities will value different things. So again, I joined AOPI because I knew that I could fit in with their diverse group of girls. I knew that I would find my place and that I could walk the walk and talk the talk as an AOPI girl. And so that may just be something that you look for while you're recruiting and while you're going through recruitment. Which sorority do you think you would fit in with? Which sorority are you going to be confident in? Because of course we do look at looks when we recruit, of course. However, it's not as heavily relied on as people believe. Like, if we're going through girls and deciding who we're going to give bids to, it's not like, is it Ashley or Brittany? Well, Brittany was prettier, let's give it to her. That's literally not what we do at all. We do look at that and we're like, oh, like, yeah, she's very cute. She cleans up well. Like, we can see her personality through in her clothing, like little things like that. However, we're not just only taking cute girls, or we're not cutting out the quote unquote ugly girls. Like, we don't do that. I'm hoping that other sororities don't do that as heavily. Again, stereotypes are stereotypes because sometimes they're true, but kind of how I said throughout this whole video, if there's a sorority doing that and they don't extend you a bid because of that, then you don't belong there anyways, and you don't want them. They're not the people that are going to be nice to you. They're not the people that you want in your life. You're going to find that home. You're going to find the sorority that does value you for who you are, and that is what's going to be most important. We already kind of touched on this one, but I feel like a lot of people, even when I said I was joining a sorority, people were like, well, you don't really like party a lot, or like, why would you pay for your friends, or like, why would you only care about materialistic things? They're just so materialist. They're very superficial people, like yada yada yada, like those stereotypes. And I'm like, well, I don't really think so, because that's literally not what I've seen, and that's not how I am. And so again, this stereotype is false for the majority of sorority women, because we value a lot of things. Each sorority literally has values that they hold near and dear to their heart. That's why the sorority was founded and built upon. So like with AOPI, ours is scholarship, dignity, character, and college loyalty. Like, those are our 4 core values that we want to put out into the world and bring girls in that have those values. Not one of those being parties or drugs or boys or anything like that. Like, yes, that comes with it, I guess, but that's not the whole reason, and it's not why you join a sorority. And of course, typically, yes, sorority girls do look cute and they have things and they're very materialistic. And honestly, I don't think that's because of like the sorority life. I honestly think it's just just because of like their socioeconomic class and like their home life, because to be honest, to be in a sorority, it is really expensive. So typically the only people that can join a sorority are the people of those higher socioeconomic statuses and classes. And it's not the fact that they're in a sorority that makes them materialistic, it's the fact that like they may already have a lot of things because they're very well off and their parents can help them, or they have a lot of money that are able to get these things that they want. They have a lot of wants and they're able to provide those wants, instead of like people who have needs and they can barely get their needs met. However, those people can afford all these extra things and a sorority, so those two usually go hand in hand, but that's not always the case, and that's not like a causation kind of thing, if that makes sense. Yes, it's a correlation, but that doesn't mean that like being in a sorority causes you to be materialistic. Yes, they have things, but that doesn't mean that we don't care about other things. We can have nice things and still care about people or other things. Like the two just doesn't go hand in hand, and I don't understand that stereotype, but I just wanted to address it just to let y'all know that it's there and that it's false. That's pretty much the big ones that I wanted to hit on. If there's any other like myths or stereotypes that y'all hear about sorority girls or Greek life in general, let me know down below, just because I'm curious of what y'all hear, and I'm curious about like what is going on about the Greek community, because I would really love to see the Greek community change as a whole in terms of our values and what we do and what we're known for and all of those things, because I feel like there's this negative view on Greek life, not by everybody and not by a lot of people or anything like that, but it's just out there. And of course I don't like it because I'm in Greek life and I know that doesn't pertain to me or my sorority, so I'm always trying to like debunk those stereotypes and make sure that people see AOPI and myself in a positive light, because yes, I'm in a sorority, but that doesn't mean anything about me, or that doesn't change myself or my values or what I want to do or what I care about, anything like that. Those two don't go hand in hand. But again, like I mentioned at the beginning, if y'all have any questions about these stereotypes or questions in general about Greek life, let me know down below and I'll answer them next week in next week's Sorority Sunday video, because even though it's Vlogmas, I still got to give you these nice videos like my Let's Talk Tuesday, my Sorority Sundays. We're gonna have to do a plan with me sometime soon. Oh, I keep forgetting it's literally December 9th and I haven't done a plan with me yet. Should we do that today? Probably not, because I already did this. This will take up a lot of time. We'll do that maybe Wednesday. It's Griffin. Hello. Griffin's coming to get us, so we're gonna go hang out with him. Hello.
Hi.
How was work?
It was long. And I even got out early.
So Griffin has, do you have one final tomorrow? 2 finals tomorrow, which means he has to study literally for the rest of the day. It is 5:03. I am going to sit here and play Sims and not distract him, or at least try to. And he's going to study. Blue, 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 blue.
Try.
He's not very good at studying while I'm here. But when he called me, I said, "Are you sure you want me to come over?" He said, "Yes." So we'll see where this goes. Yeah. So my best friend slash cousin slash wifey slash all of our other slashes just FaceTimed me because she is so far away right now and I miss her tons.
I miss you.
So she's in the Navy actually, so she's super far away. So this is how I have to talk to her.
It's okay. At least you can still talk.
Yes, we make sure to have calls very frequently and I send her daily snaps. FaceTime so I can play some Sims now. However, you know, I was sitting here because we talked for literally a half hour. So I'm sitting here looking at this opening screen and there's this like cute little house on here. And the house that I have right now is like a ginormous like mansion. But I feel like I want to challenge myself to try to build a really nice tiny house. So I'm gonna try to like build another plot of land or like buy another land, and then I want to build like a tiny house on it. What if I build like multiple tiny houses and put them right next to each other so it looks like the city, like little townhomes? This is the little house that gave me inspiration right there. Look at it, it's so tiny and cute. They have a nice little backyard. I'm gonna make that house. So I somewhat finished my house. I'm not completely done with it. I want to actually play this game like for real and have a job and make some money to really fill the house. I made like a little tiny house because before I used cheat codes to get a whole bunch of money. That way I can make extravagant houses. But this time I wanted to make a little tiny house, only use the money that I have. And what I did so far, I only have 1,700 left, but it's a really basic house. So more will come. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for today's Vlogmas. I will see y'all tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 10. Say bye.
Bye.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling. I'm on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.